You wanted it? Here it is. What Ryan Cedzo, juggler and creator of this effect, calls the Juggling Hero Effect. It's been spreading across the interwebs, and I've got my own take on it. We're going to get into how I use shortcuts to drastically speed up the time it takes to create this effect. Let's get into it. There's a lot of different editing tools that you can use to achieve this effect, but what you can't do is click on a TikTok filter and call it a day. If you came here thinking it would be that easy, today we're going to be working in Adobe Premiere, but you can do this inside of any video editing software that has the ability to keyframe. Leave a comment down below on what editor you use and I will let you know if it does keyframing. Now, keyframing is just technical jargon that video animators use, and all it really means is the ability to define where an effect starts and where it ends, and have the software fill in the blanks for us. Using the body as an example, if I wanted to animate my arm from moving from here to here, I would put a keyframe at the start and a keyframe at the end, and the software would fill in all the blanks of the movement in between so that we didn't have to move the arm frame by frame by frame. That's all keyframing is. It's a way to save time for video animation. Now, there's two ways I've seen the Juggling Hero Effect done so far: an extremely painful way that looks mediocre, and a much easier way that we're going to jump into right now. Step 1. Open your video editor and drag in the clip you want to work with, and find a frame in your video where your prop is unobstructed, sharp, and nicely lit. You can prepare in advance while shooting your video by tossing your object gently into the air without any rotation or much speed so it doesn't get affected by motion blur. We need the prop sharp and unobstructed. Step 2. Make a copy of your video in the timeline and create a mask on top of it. We're going to use the mask to isolate the prop and make the rest of the video transparent. Now, you could use a photograph of the prop to make it really crisp, but the lighting, color, and noise pattern wouldn't match your video, so it would look a little bit out of place. We're going to use the circle mask because we're doing rings. But if you're using a weird shaped prop like a club, you'll want to use the pen tool. Step 3. Okay, now that we have our object masked out, we're going to place a frame hold on it so it doesn't move around on us. Right now, it's a video. We want it to act more like a photo. So right-click the copied video with the mask on it and choose Insert Frame Hold Segment. This freezes a still frame of our video. Delete those other parts of the clip, we don't need them anymore, and now we have the object, isolated in all its glory, ready to obey our every command. Last step. Find a place in your video where you want the masked out flying prop to merge into the actual prop you're juggling, and set your playhead on that exact moment. Now, drag your masked prop clip and place it so that the end of that video lines up with the playhead of your exact moment. Highlight your masked clip and place a keyframe on the position effect. Then move the playhead to the start of your masked clip and adjust the position so your masked prop is out of the scene. Play it back and let the keyframes work their magic. Now, repeat this step as many times as you want, and you're on your way. Hot tip number 1. Make a bunch of copies of your masked prop clip before applying keyframes. This way you'll have them available to just drag and drop as you work through the rest of the video. Hot tip number 2. Make a bunch of video layers before you start moving the prop layers into place. You'll likely want multiple props on the screen at the same time, which means you'll need multiple layers. This clip of Aki had 20 layers for the rings. I could have skimped around and got them to fit maybe 5 layers, but it would take up more time, so just make the layers. This technique works really well for objects in wall plane. However, if you want to apply it to objects that aren't perfectly in wall plane, you'll need to make a new mask just for that prop. You could rotate the layer around an axis, but now we're getting into the land of 3D. You can fake 3D in Premiere, but it is a huge pain and I do not recommend it. I recommend trying out Final Cut Pro or After Effects if you want to do anything outside of wall plane. Otherwise, film your clip accordingly. Make sure you have some juggling in wall plane to make this work. This doesn't apply to balls, so rock on, you planeless bastards. If you liked the vid, click the thumbs up. If you loved it, subscribe. People want to know, how do I support my artist friends for free? That's it. Hit those buttons. I'm Kai Sosceles. This is 4 Petal Films. See you next time.